The first Diddy party I went to was at Prince's house. So you want to go to Prince's house to the Diddy party where Tyrese is performing and Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher are swinging on swings. That is what's happening on the other side of the wall. And so the one thing that makes this party different than a Jamie Foxx party or any other celebrity party that wrangles a bunch of young women or guys or whatever too, is that Diddy didn't let you bring your security in the party.
The situation just escalated. Prince's name is now being linked to Diddy's legal case. Nobody anticipated that. We already heard from Jason Lee that Diddy used to host some seriously wild gatherings at Prince's residence. But this development adds a whole new layer that no one expected.
Health problems?
That I don't know, right? What I know is that he was really health conscious. He was a vegan. He didn't abuse alcohol. I didn't know of him abusing drugs. He worked out, so, that also really concerned me because it made me think that, wow, so you mean you do all these things to take care of yourself and you die so young?
Now picture this, what if Prince had surveillance running the entire time? He wasn't just private, he was calculated, always several steps ahead, always in control. He never actually attended those parties himself, which led many to assume he just didn't want to be part of the chaos. But now there's talk that suggests otherwise. What if he recorded everything that happened in his home and kept the footage stored away? Some even think he handed it over to someone before his passing. Given how the case is unfolding, there's growing speculation that this footage might show up in court. That alone is huge. And the surprises didn't stop there. The jury selection process was full of unexpected moments. Some of the names mentioned had everyone stunned. Michelle Williams, Robert Downey, JRB, Mike Myers, Lauren London. No one could believe it.
On December 31st, 1999, my publishing contract with Warner Chappell expired, thus emancipating the name I was given before birth, Prince, from all long-term restrictive documents.
Now, let's turn to the individuals we did expect to be named in this case, starting with Cassie. She was the first to come forward, filing a lawsuit that sent shockwaves. Her allegations were deeply troubling. Cassie claimed that several people within Diddy's circle, bad boy staff, assistants, even security, witnessed what occurred, yet no one spoke out. It gets even more disturbing. She alleged those same assistants were tasked with delivering gifts as apologies after violent episodes. And it didn't end there. She said they also arranged the infamous freak-offs, booking hotel rooms and setting everything up with baby oil and a straw glide. That's far beyond a typical assistant's role. But here's the part that truly resonates. Cassie said that following one particularly traumatic event, both Diddy's head of security and his assistant saw her state and broke down in tears. That's how severe it was. If those details are accurate, it's almost certain those staff members will be subpoenaed. And let's not overlook Harve Pierre. His name surfaced in another lawsuit filed by a Jane Doe against Diddy, and according to reports, he's been added to the witness list as well.
I had to search deep within my heart and spirit, and I wanted to make a change and move to a new plateau in my life. And one of the ways in which I did that was to change my name. It sort of divorced me from the past and all the hang-ups that go along with it, as it's been well chronicled in deep dispute with my record label.
Which is Warner Brothers, right?
Yeah. We had some issues that were basically about ownership of the music and how often I was supposed to record and things like that. I really searched deep within to find out the answer to whether fame was most important to me or my spiritual well-being, and I chose the latter.
Now, here's where things take an unsettling turn. One Jane Doe alleged that Harve Pierre persuaded her to travel from Detroit to New Jersey, only for her to reportedly be assaulted by both Harve and Diddy. That's not just troubling, it's alarming. But the list of names doesn't end there. Young Miami, reportedly on Diddy's payroll, was allegedly involved as well, not just as a witness, but rumored to have been transporting substances on his behalf. Her name even surfaced during the jury selection process. This situation is reaching beyond just public figures. It's touching nearly everyone in Diddy's inner circle. Another unexpected name, Dallas Austin. While most recognize him as a producer, Fewer know that he was childhood friends with Kim Porter, Diddy's late partner. Following Kim's sudden death, speculation has lingered about Diddy's potential involvement. With Dallas now in the conversation, people are questioning whether this angle is about to unravel. And then there's Laureen Gibson, the choreographer, known for making the band. She filed a police report in 2007 claiming that Diddy once picked up a chair and threatened her during production. That's concerning behavior. Aubrey O'Day has also been vocal, firmly supporting Cassie's allegations and speaking out about Diddy's alleged misconduct toward her. Former Danity Kane member Dawn Richard is also involved. She filed a lawsuit accusing Diddy of severe abuse. According to the claim, the mistreatment wasn't hidden. It reportedly began right on the set of making the band. Diddy was accused of publicly belittling the women on camera with degrading remarks. When it came to rehearsals, Dawn claimed it became even worse. She said Diddy forced her into intense rehearsals without rest, food, or sleep, pushing her into a state of complete exhaustion. She further alleged that he exploited those vulnerable moments to take advantage of her. And it didn't stop there. Dawn also made a major allegation. She claims to have witnessed Diddy physically assault Cassie while under the influence. That kind of first-hand account could significantly impact the case. Now, let's shift focus to the men linked to Cassie. Michael B. Jordan's name was mentioned not due to any wrongdoing, but because of a flirtatious connection with Cassie around 2015. Still, prosecutors appear intent on bringing in as many of Cassie's past relationships as possible. One name that stands out is Kid Cudi. Cassie admitted to a short relationship with him in 2011 during a rough patch with Diddy. After she reconciled with Diddy, he allegedly discovered old emails between them and lost control. According to the lawsuit, Diddy was so enraged that he waited until he knew Kid Cudi was home before orchestrating an explosion that destroyed Cudi's car. And here's the shocking part: Kid Cudi's car really did explode in his driveway. That segment of Cassie's lawsuit wasn't speculation. It happened. As the trial progresses, more names are likely to emerge. But as mentioned earlier, Prince's involvement was a completely unforeseen twist. Now people are wondering, did Prince know more than he let on? The speculation is growing. Some are even questioning whether that rumored footage he allegedly had of Diddy might have had something to do with his own death. It's a disturbing thought, but when you start connecting the dots, it raises some serious questions. Here's where things take a strange turn. Just days before Prince's death, he seemed to sense something was coming. He shared a photo of himself with a now-deleted caption that read, "Just when you thought you were safe." That message alone was chilling. What would be his final appearance at Paisley Park? Reportedly after receiving some type of medical treatment, he made a cryptic comment to the audience: "Wait a few days before you waste any prayers." It's an odd thing to say unless he felt something serious was looming, and then, suddenly, Prince was gone, found unresponsive at his Minnesota estate. The official cause of death was listed as an accidental fentanyl overdose, allegedly from counterfeit Vicodin. But many found that hard to believe. Prince had a reputation for living clean, no drugs, no chaos. So how does someone known for that lifestyle end up dying from a synthetic opioid? Was he dealing with health issues? That's the question people keep asking. But for many, the story goes beyond just medical concerns.
Your life and getting you into rehab.
Yes, he did. I had a long time kind of battling those things, and after my father passed, it got really bad. And so I called up Big Bruh to help. He said, okay, when and where.
Prince wasn't only a musical icon, he was also a fierce advocate. For decades, he fought powerful corporations for the rights to his own music and for fair treatment of artists. He was vocal and persistent about ensuring creatives got ownership and compensation for their work. Some believe he paid the ultimate price for standing firm. Rumors have circulated for years about whether Warner Bros. Had any involvement in what happened to him. While no evidence has confirmed that theory, many fans remain convinced there's more beneath the surface. They suspect the very system Prince spent years challenging may have ultimately worked against him. He signed with Warner Music in 1977. At just 18 years old, though his early albums from 1978 to 1981 didn't generate massive commercial success, Warner stuck with him. They saw his potential. He was already considered a visionary. To them, Prince brought credibility and artistry to their label, and they were right. In 1982, just a year after MTV launched, Prince released new music that finally broke into the US top 10. That marked a turning point. He wasn't just making hits, he was crafting a full persona, an artistic identity. Prince understood the power of visuals. For him, music videos weren't just promotional tools, they were instruments of control. He used them to shape how people saw him, to define his narrative on his own terms. By A Time Purple Rain was released in 1984. Prince had become more than just a chart-topping artist. He was a cultural phenomenon. Fans didn't just listen to him, they adopted his fashion, his sound, and his entire creative energy. He was the biggest and most captivating figure in pop, no doubt about that. But behind the spotlight, Prince had reached his limit. He was frustrated that Warner Brothers held the rights to his name and every song he released under it. Imagine being one of the greatest musical talents alive, yet not even owning your own name. So, what did Prince do? He turned the system on its head. He legally changed his name to a symbol, the now iconic glyph, and people began referring to him as the artist formerly known as Prince. He made it clear this was a fight for artistic control. He spoke openly and directly about it. Here's where the contrast comes in. Diddy was aligning himself with the very entities Prince was pushing back against. Diddy signed a major joint venture with Warner Music Group, the same Warner that Prince was resisting. The deal gave Warner a 50% share in Bad Boy Records. They took over global distribution, both digital and physical, of Bad Boy's entire catalog, and also helped oversee the label's artist roster. Diddy didn't shy away from celebrating the move either. He said publicly, "There have been a lot of boutique labels that come and go, but we're still here." He emphasized that this partnership gave them the financial strength to continue leading in the industry.
It wasn't hard at all. It was a 2-second phone call. He's gone. I had been preparing for 2 years, so I knew that it was coming.
What does that mean?
He said it a couple of years ago.
What would he say?
What he said was, "I've done everything that I've come to do." So I was crushed for about two.
And this is where things begin to take a strange turn. Word is, Prince may have been aware of the controversial parties Diddy was allegedly hosting, and he wanted no part of them. Jason Lee once revealed that the first extravagant Diddy party he ever attended took place at Prince's house. But something stood out: no outside security was allowed in. That's a detail worth noting. Prince allowed his property to be used, but made sure external security stayed away. It appears that control was intentional, and considering Prince's well-known personality, private, meticulous, always observant, you have to wonder, were the security cameras recording everything? This was Prince, after all, always one step ahead. What if he kept footage of what went on and handed it off to someone he trusted before he passed? Now, with speculation growing that his name might surface in the ongoing trial, people are starting to connect the dots, and the conclusions being drawn aren't reassuring. What if Prince knew more than he let on? What if those recordings exist? Could they be tied to the circumstances of his death? And here's a detail that adds more weight to the conversation. Prince's sister, Tyka Nelson, once revealed that he told her he was in danger just days before he passed. There was once a belief that they weren't particularly close, but those who knew them say otherwise. They shared more than family ties, they shared deep trust. In a 2018 interview, Tyka Nelson opened up about the real depth of their bond. She said they were extremely close during their childhood, and that their parents had even told Prince it was his responsibility to look after her. So wherever he went, she followed. It wasn't just about sibling affection, they had a strong, protective relationship. And it wasn't just emotional. Prince actually saved her life. At one point, when Tyka was struggling with substance abuse, it was Prince who stepped in and helped her get into rehab. He didn't just stand by, he took action. That shows the kind of bond they shared. But here's the part that truly hits hard. Tyka said that when Prince sensed his time might be limited, he began preparing her not just in the days leading up to his passing, but starting 2 full years before. It was as if he anticipated something was coming. That kind of foresight is difficult to ignore. In an interview with the Minnesota Star Tribune, she recalled their last phone conversation just 4 days before his death. Something didn't feel right. She tried to have a serious discussion with him, but he kept deflecting. Whenever she asked direct questions, he would change the subject, crack a joke, and they'd share a quick laugh just like they used to. She remembered saying, "How are you really?" But Prince didn't open up. She could tell he knew something was on her mind, and clearly he had things weighing on him too. Still, he kept it all to himself. That silence, it said a lot. Whatever he was facing, he chose not to voice it, possibly as a way to shield the people he cared about. What we do know for certain is that a lot was happening behind the scenes in the days before Prince passed. Whether any of it connects to Diddy remains a question, and the situation is still unclear. If Prince's name does end up surfacing in this legal storm, only time will reveal the full picture. But now, I want to hear your opinion. Do you think Prince could have actually recorded Diddy at those parties? And if he did, why do you think he never went public with it? Was he planning to release something? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video with anyone following this unfolding story. Tap the bell so you don't miss what's coming next, because this story, it's far from over.